what were some, like, I would say some truths that we always thought that have kind of been laid to rest and kind of been disproven
Yes.
that we don't really we don't need to harp on anymore, right?
Yeah.
And obviously we already touched the Blue Bloods. My next one was home field advantages need to be reconsidered.
Really?
Getting a top 4 seed, and I think we've proven this. We're 1-7
Yes.
in home field advantages, or at least bye weeks. My bad. Home field advantages, fine.
Okay. I was about to say home
Bye
field
weeks
advantages
need to be.
really good.
I typed that wrong.
Bye weeks are a problem.
Bye weeks need
Okay.
to
I see
be
what's
talked
happening.
about.
Yes.
My bad. I typed that wrong. But
We all make mistakes. And
1-7.
We are Josh. No, continue.
1-7, insane. Why? At what point? If there's going to be a G5 school in, I'd rather have a tune-up game against a G5 school and then go face Georgia.
Yeah, I really liked Oregon's position this year.
Oregon I thought was
It's
great.
too bad they got buzzsawed by Indiana, but still, I mean, that nice tune-up game.
Ole Miss had Tulane.
Yeah, exactly.
Phenomenal tune-up game. Sorry, G5 schools. It's true. Go to Georgia. Already, Trinidad Chambliss is playing like a freaking superhuman.
Yeah. The
He's
tune-up
good to
game
go?
at home, too, is just
Phenomenal.
really nice.
So, I think that's why we need the reseeding.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
And I think that needs to be implemented relatively soon.
Well,
Or B, you go another way. You can go home field advantage for the second round as well,
yes.
which I know a bunch of creators are calling that out and saying we should have more home games at the stadiums and not at bowl games.
And I agree completely. That's, once again, the whole point of college football. I'm going to college, and, I want to go to a football game, and I got to go to 2 playoff games in my home stadium.
Facts.
First of all, it's a good advantage and a necessary advantage because the more advantages we give to higher seeds, the better, because they deserved it during the regular season,
Regular season Greensboro.
even though they're kind of arbitrarily decided. But, I mean, home playoff games are great. The good news is I would imagine the landscape of the playoff is going to be changing.
I would
I
assume
know people are lobbying for 16 teams. They're lobbying for 24 teams.
24.
I think if you had to ask me right now, the most likely playoff format for maybe 2 years from now, but maybe even next year, I would say is probably going to be 16 teams.
I think 16 teams makes sense.
I think it could be worse.
Oh.
I think it could be worse than 16. I would prefer 12. I like 12 if we got rid of some
struggle
auto
with
bids.
12.
Yeah.
That bye week is killing people.
Yeah, I don't love the bye week, I will admit.
If you have
to that.
16, you have everybody play. You have Indiana play JMU, and they go, hey, congratulations, you're the 1 seed. Here's the tune-up.
Well, you just get rid of the auto bids to group of 5 schools, and then it gets quite a bit better. But you know what? 16, not that bad. 24, now you got bye weeks, and you got 24. I mean,
What is this, March Madness?
at that point, we're adding, I don't even know what team was sitting around 23rd or 24th this year. Probably like Troy or something. I don't know. Don't fact check that. But I would agree
No clue.
the buys have to go. So I'm all with you on that.
That's a fan fact right there.
Like,
Right.
yeah, okay.
Heck yeah. Hey,
No one fact check that.
do you have a narrative that you would like to put to rest
Oh, I do.
before I go to the next one?
Oh, no, yeah, I'll go next. We can go back and forth. I have a couple. So, my narrative that has been put to rest is you need elite offensive talent to win. So, in the past, it's always been Joe Burrow this, Baker Mayfield that, Patrick Mahomes this. I feel like every year it's always like you have this one guy, and sometimes the guy's not even there. Let's look at Michigan. They had Blake Corum, running back. Yeah, okay, he was a beast. But JJ McCarthy,
Did they have Nico Collins?
not that good. I don't believe so.
that year?
I don't know.
No, I don't think they did.
But then last year, Ohio State obviously had, really great offensive talent. However, this year, Indiana, I know they had the Heisman Trophy winner, and somehow I'm just still not really impressed. They were a really balanced team. And if you looked at what was great about that team, it was their veterancy, but it was also winning in the trenches. You can especially look at Miami. Look at their run to the championship. Miami didn't have any absolutely incredible Fletcher. Like, he was great.
Fletcher was good.
But I mean, they are not offensive freaks winning these games. He's tried, but he's not winning the game. Mendoza, yes, he made a bunch of great plays. He had a touchdown. He's not winning the game.
No.
It is a team. It is in the trenches. And I think, unfortunately, one of the best examples of this is Ohio State. We had, top guys at running back, top guys at wide receiver, Heisman candidate at quarterback, and it didn't matter because, we just kind of got blown up and we didn't know what was going on and we can't establish a run game. And our defense was really good, but you just don't need the same offensive talent. I mean, you think of elite teams, you think of how many first-round draft picks 2020 Alabama had, especially on the offensive side, and 2020 or 2019 LSU. Obviously, I mean, you got Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Joe Burrow. It's like, okay, those guys could have won the game by themselves. I'm not sure that's so much the case anymore.
I don't think so.
Now, maybe I'm getting a little ahead of myself. I know LSU's offensive line in 2019 was stellar and outstanding, but I think people basically maybe they shouldn't look so much at look at this wide receiver I have, look at this incredible quarterback maybe even that I have, although quarterback's super important. I think it's a little bit overweighted, and you got to start paying more attention to the trenches.
I completely agree. The trenches are where I would say is where you win games.
Yeah.
Is what I would say. If you have a good offensive coordinator, your offensive coordinator can scheme you open, a wide receiver.
I could agree with that. Yeah.
You do not need a Jeremiah Smith on the outside just to bail you out. Now, it's nice to have whenever you get bull rushed, right?
Yeah.
But if you have a elite offensive line, you can sit in the pocket for 3 seconds and go from your first read, second read, third read, and then back to your check down.
Exactly.
If you have to.
How do you think Jalen Hurts is even comparable to Joe Burrow? He's not nearly as good. I can tell you that much. And maybe this is my Bengals rubbing off on me because we have elite offensive talent and absolutely horrible defense, and it gave us like 6 wins this season. But I think it's applicable to college football.
Absolutely.
And I think when we build like Ohio State teams, even like
you gotta start with the big boys.
When's
the last time we've gotten a good actual recruit from college, from high school, to go to Ohio State?
Got a lot of wide receivers.
So long.
That's about it. Yeah.
It's been forever. All we're doing is just trying to plug and play transfers. It's not working. So,
all right, that was my narrative.
I digress. That was a great narrative. That was a great narrative you put to rest there. Ready for mine?
Yeah, go ahead.
In this new era of college football, SEC's not the dominant one.
Oh, I think this is obvious. I mean,
is it over?
Is it over? I mean, dominance? I mean, they're equal to the ACC at this point. All right. That's clickbait. Come up with a clickbait name for me.
That'll be on a clip.
Yeah, you do that.
I plan to.
No. Include this context. He won't. At least Miami or the ACC has been in championship games in the last 3 years. Isn't that embarrassing?
The proofs, I think, with the new NIL, right? The new format, SEC. I think the SEC is overblown a little bit. Yeah. And I'm sorry, SEC teams, you're still good. We're still good at football.
Quite good.
Okay, we're not discounting that. However, AP rankings overblow you guys a little bit too much. Mm-hmm. When you lose, it's always a good loss, and when you win, it's always a great win.
This is true.
That's not true. Let's make that clear.
Something interesting about this topic that I just heard today.
Okay,
is about how this was always talked about, but at the end of the year, they'll reset the season and they'll send out the odds for the next season. We have odds for the next season. I have some of them here.
Yes.
Somehow, at FanDuel right now, but
sure,
this is actually changing quite a bit since they've come out. But right now, for some reason, Ohio State's plus 600
for
winning the national championship. After them is Notre Dame, Texas, and Indiana at plus 700, followed by Oregon at plus 1,000.
I'll take Oregon.
So in the top 5, there is one SEC team who this is in my bold take later. But
don't spoil the beans.
Oh, I won't spoil it. But
okay,
it's just really obvious. I mean, we got Notre Dame and Texas, and then 3 Big Ten teams already in the odds for next season. And I think that's something that hasn't happened in the past. And when the odds makers are starting to say you're bad, you're cooked. That's all I gotta say.
I think it shows.
I agree.
The money's up north. It's not down south in the car dealerships.
And sometimes I don't even wonder how much it's a money thing. I think money has a lot to do with it. They got big funds to pull from. But I think it's also that the SEC always has, and I think still does have a small talent edge. Tons of great, football players down in Texas and Florida that they're all recruiting from. But it's the fact that their process, I don't want to say was lazy, but they could always rely on their just talent to just show up and win games.
Facts.
And in this new landscape of college football, I feel like, tons of Big Ten players care about football just as much.
Oh, yeah.
About football, and some people argue even more. I won't quite argue that yet, but
Just means more.
oh gosh, yeah. I hope we get an SEC hater in the comment. If you're an SEC hater in the comment, please comment. It'll make me feel great.
I will respond.
I will respond. Josh will respond.
I will respond.
But that is something that I agree with you. I think they're kind of fading away. I think it's pretty obvious the Big Ten at the top is undisputably better. In the middle,
it is.
maybe at the end of the season, I would have argued it's a little bit more even. But
Bowl
even
games
there,
proved it. And I understand bowl games are not a legitimate factor to look at. But when you have Vanderbilt saying, we're playing, and then you lose to Iowa,
not only that, I think Iowa put a 30 burger on them. This is Iowa, by the way.
that could be a fan fact.
You need to put in my
that could be a fan
Wi-Fi
fact.
pack password. Fan
Yeah.
fact?
That could be a fan fact.
Oh, I think they dropped more than 30, actually. I dare you to look it up right now. Here we go.
Lost. Oh, wow. 34-27.
34-27.
Wow.
1-0 Matthew. We're going to install a whiteboard over here, and I'm going to take that point, keep it, mark it down in the logs.
We should get a whiteboard up here.
Oh,
I
we
think
do.
that'd be so
we need a
interesting.
whiteboard.
That'd be cool.
I have all kinds of things I'd put on that whiteboard.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah,
Yeah, I know.
I'm just sad for Vanderbilt. I'm sorry.
Could you say the score again for the audience? So they know?
34-27. Matthew was right.
Oh, that's right. 30 burger by Iowa.
Wow.
That's like
Iowa.
I don't even know. That's like the Bengals playing competent defense against you.
Supposedly.
Like scoring less than 20 against the Bengals.
That is insane.
All right.
And I would say, I know that we'll finish up there. I understand bowl games are not a usable metric. Nothing beats head to head. But supposedly SEC are undefeated in hypothetical matchups.
I mean, that's true. But the argument here is like, yeah, they're not the end all be all, but when they're your only data point and they're overwhelmingly in one direction, the worst part is people that argue that, well, it's because SEC doesn't really care about bowl games. But how backward is that they've said their whole it just means more. They care so much about football. And then you go to your bowl game and you just don't care anymore. Your last game of your season. A lot of these guys only last game of the season.
Oh, facts.
I will say to make, so that the SEC haters aren't crazy in the comments, you guys care about bowl games a lot more than Notre Dame.
Ah, dang it. I was going to bring that up.
I'm happy
Dang
for you
it.
guys.
At least you played. I'm
that
happy they
regard.
played. I watched the games.
Oh, the games were super
we
entertaining.
had a bowl pick 'em. I picked SEC teams to win.
Yeah, that's on
And
you.
I shouldn't have.
Well, I picked Michigan to beat Texas like the idiot I am.
Oh, I chose Texas.
Yeah,
I should
I know.
have taken Iowa. I was a fool. I
had
bought
Iowa.
into the ESPN hype of Vanderbilt playing all the players.
I think they were legitimately good. I just think I was also really good.
Iowa was middle of the pack for Big Ten.
I know, and I think they're really good. What does that say? Oh boy. I have another one here.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not super good at this whole killing the narrative thing, but I feel like you would have taken more of the better obvious ones. But
Okay.
this is something.
Sorry.
So no, it's fine. See, we haven't talked to each other at all about our notes.
I don't like
this.
talking about notes.
Before we
I
start.
like the genuine reaction of him and
And
my
I think-
terrible takes.
I think it's working. They're not terrible. I'm the one who said ACC equals SEC,
That'll be clipped.
bro. I gotta bank on the ACC doing better next year.
Well,
Okay.
stay tuned.
Okay. Well, something I would like to say is that one narrative is that momentum wasn't really a thing in college football. And not so much that it wasn't a thing, but in basketball, it's a huge deal. This team's gaining momentum. They're getting better.
Okay.
At or baseball, this team's gaining momentum. They're on fire.
Sure.
They're winning every single game they go up to. I think we got to acknowledge that it is really important in college football.
It shows.
These past 2-3 years. Now, Indiana didn't so much have momentum. They played consistently the whole year. I think they played their best games in the playoff because
Big Ten
when you're
and so on.
a crazy point differential in the playoffs like they had against Alabama and Oregon, I think they were playing their best. But look at Miami. Miami at one point was losing to Louisville, and they lost that game.
Yep.
And here they are at the end of the season, 2 wins, barely should have made the playoff. No one was talking about them. But remember how they ended their season? I mean, I'm pretty sure they blew the doors off Pitt.
Okay.
And Pitt wasn't even that bad at all. And so they enter those playoffs, and they just win every game. They go up against Indiana. They go against 15-0 undefeated Indiana's and Kurt Signetti's Indiana. And they play a great game, especially in the second half. They just keep coming back. Indiana keeps putting them away, and they keep coming back. So I think that's something that, used to not really be the case in football, something people didn't really talk about.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's really important to get hot. I didn't even talk about Ohio State last year.
True.
Obviously, they had a loss to Oregon in the regular season. They had a
Lose to
horrible,
Michigan.
incredible double-digit favorite loss to Michigan. But, oh my goodness, did they catch fire those last 4 games of the season and absolutely destroy everyone. One of the most dominant runs, other than maybe that Texas game, you could argue wasn't an absolute butt whooping, but everything else was. So I think the coaches got to start thinking about how are they going to get their teams hot at the end of the season, and I don't know how you accomplish that.
Okay, so I have a theory. I think I'm not saying I cracked the code, but this is the fan theory. Remember, both
Fan
fans,
theory.
no
yeah.
football knowledge. Ohio State, when they ran on their run with Chip Kelly, right?
Yep.
NFL coach came down for college. He had experience with long seasons with NFL.
Yeah.
They limit their plays in the very beginning. They were huddled every time, very slow, and they were running almost 20 plays less than every other team out there,
Yeah.
right? And then, so your guys are fresh. I don't think you're gonna see many more single running backs on teams. I think it's gonna be a running back committee through and through
I agree.
because it's just long.
Yeah.
So I think you need depth, which is good. A lot of teams have that. Limiting plays. I think we're gonna see games slow down as we get through the years. Amount of plays are gonna slow. But then at the very last 2-3 games is when they're gonna see the playbook open up a little bit more.
Okay.
A little bit more. And you're gonna see the quarterback sling it. Or you're gonna see them you're gonna see plays that you haven't seen all year.
Okay.
And they're gonna start going, all right, this is what we work towards. This is what we're gonna do now, right? And I think that's kind of what Ohio State did. I don't know why we didn't do it against Michigan.
Yeah.
But Tennessee, you saw wide open. You saw Jeremiah Smith in the corner, 1-on-1. You're throwing to Jeremiah Smith every time.
Yeah.
Right. They said they started to give free reign to the teams, to the team itself, and they said, all right, we're not holding back. Right. And I think teams will start moving that up instead of wait, because Ohio State proved we waited.
Yeah.
I felt like we waited all of Indiana, basically,
Yeah, to even start playing.
to even
we
start
scored
playing the game.
10 points. Somehow that was the closest game with Indiana that they played all year. Well, in terms of score, I would say Penn State almost really had them there.
True.
But that's crazy that they were that close to not having an undefeated season. Thanks to that one catch by, I believe, Elijah Surratt in the end zone. That was just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Just kind of Team of Destiny type vibes there. But they manufactured it, and kudos to them.
Heisman Mendoza.
Did you have any other narratives? I do have a third.
We went through my first 2 already because we already talked about Blue Bloods by situation, SEC dominance being equal to ACC.
Yeah. Oh. Who said that? Okay.
I make the clips.
My third, we kind of talked about an old narrative that has to die is that only 4 or 6 teams can win the college football
Facts.
playoff. I think this is pretty obvious. This is not shocking, but The blue
True.
chip margin, it doesn't matter as much. Back in the day, no one could crack the top. The biggest story ever about someone making it when they couldn't was Clemson. And
Yeah.
Clemson was, a decent team in a Power 4, Power 5 conference at the time, and they had a lot of backing and support before it was kind of a thing. And so they went on that great run. So that was like the whole deal of a Cinderella. By the way, would you consider Indiana a Cinderella?
So this season, no. This season they proved. But if you look on a larger scope, like say 2 to 5 years, right? Absolutely.
Yeah, I'd agree.
You understand?
You got to put it in the context.
Put it of this season? No, they were clearly the number one team.
Yeah.
And I say this as a Ohio State fan. It's obvious in hindsight, but they played good all year.
Mm-hmm.
You can't say they're a Cinderella team.
Yeah.
But if you look back 3 years ago, absolutely they're a Cinderella team.
I would say that. It depends how you define Cinderella, because you don't want it to sound insulting, but at the same time,
It's true.
if you wanted to define Cinderellas in college football, I don't know where else you would look. Some people argue it's if Kurt Signetti would have stayed at JMU and won a national championship. And I think that's just ludicrous. But it's also, do you define a Cinderella as someone who has to win or someone who just goes on a run? Because sure, I could see him going on a run, and is that more of a run than what Indiana did? I'm not sure. I think taking the losingest team ever, if you do put it in the context of like 5 years, I think you have to call it a Cinderella.
It's a Cinderella.
But at the same time, a Cinderella implies they're going away. I don't know they're going away. I don't think so. I definitely don't think so.
That'll be another segment another time.
Okay. Yeah, we'll have to see about that.
We gotta save some of these.
Yeah. But to kind of wrap up, it used to be only a few teams could win, or you'd start the year and only a few teams could possibly win, and it was really obvious who was going to win after about week 4 or 5, and everyone else was just kind of playing games for fun, and they were super useless. But at this point, everyone who's in the top 12 obviously could probably win later in the season, and everyone who's even inside close playing those top 12 teams, you're making an impact on, the overall national championship. So
Absolutely.
I
All
think
right.
that's
Let's move on.
pretty cool.